Imagine cutting your food intake in half, ignoring the hunger pangs, and walking past the bakery without stopping, only to step on the scale a week later and see the number hasn't moved an inch. Or worse, it's gone up. For decades we've been told that losing weight is just simple math. Calories in, calories out. If you aren't losing weight, you simply aren't trying hard enough. But what if I told you that your body has a hidden mechanism, a biological thermostat, that actually fights against you the harder you diet? It's the reason why losing weight feels impossible after 60, and why the weight you do lose comes roaring back the moment you relax. You aren't fighting a lack of willpower, you are fighting your own biology. But you can win. Today, we are going to reset that thermostat using 3 specific steps that require no gym memberships and no starvation. Hello, I'm Dr. Adam Carter, and welcome to Seniors Life Health. To understand why traditional dieting fails us as we age, we have to look at something called the body fat thermostat. Think of your body like the heating system in your house. You set the thermostat to 70 degrees. If you open a window and let cold air in, the heater doesn't just give up. It kicks into overdrive to pump out more heat and get the room back to 70. Your body does the exact same thing with fat. It has a set point weight that it thinks is normal for you. When you suddenly cut 500 calories out of your diet, your body doesn't burn fat, it panics. It thinks you are starving. So, it adjusts the thermostat. It makes you hungrier to force you to eat, and if you resist, it simply shuts down your metabolism. Clinical studies from over 40 years ago proved this. They looked at people who had lost a significant amount of weight and compared them to people of a normal weight. They found that the people who had dieted down were burning half the calories of the normal group. Their bodies had slowed to a crawl to protect their fat stores. This is why you can eat like a bird and still not lose a pound. So how do we lower this thermostat setting? It isn't about calories, it is about hormones. Specifically, we need to manage a hormone called insulin. This brings us to our first major strategy, the morning delay. For years, we've been told breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But for seniors trying to reset their metabolism, eating immediately after waking up might be the biggest mistake you can make. Here is the science. When you wake up in the morning, your body naturally releases a hormone called cortisol. This is the alertness hormone. It raises your blood sugar slightly to give your muscles and brain instant fuel to get out of bed. If you sit down and eat a piece of toast or a bowl of oatmeal right then, you are adding fuel to a fire that is already burning. Your pancreas responds by flooding your system with insulin. When insulin is high, your body creates a storage mode signal. It locks your fat cells and refuses to burn them for energy. By simply pushing your breakfast back, waiting 3 or 4 hours after you wake up, you change the hormonal signals entirely. You allow your insulin levels to drop. This flips your internal switch from store to burn. Instead of burning the toast you just ate, your body has to find energy elsewhere. And where does it go? It goes to your stored body fat. You aren't starving yourself. You're just changing the schedule so your body uses the fuel you already carry. Studies show that people who skip that early morning meal don't end up overeating later. In fact, they eat about 260 fewer calories per day without even trying, and they lose more weight than the breakfast eaters. Before we move to the next powerful remedy, if you found this first tip helpful, you can support our research team by clicking the Super Thanks heart button below. And for priority answers to your questions, consider joining our Seniors VIP family by hitting the Join button. Now, let's talk about the spice rack solution. Now that we have adjusted when you eat, let's talk about a simple addition to what you eat that can trick your body into feeling full. You have likely heard of the new weight loss drugs hitting the market, like Ozempic. These drugs work by targeting a hormone called GLP-1. This hormone tells your brain, "I'm full, stop eating," and it tells your body, "Start burning fat." But you don't necessarily need an injection to stimulate this hormone. You can do it with a common kitchen spice, turmeric. Turmeric is the yellow spice found in curry powder, and it contains a powerful compound called curcumin. This compound is a natural way to wake up those GLP-1 hormones. When you add turmeric to your lunch or dinner, the curcumin helps slow down how quickly food leaves your stomach. This means you feel fuller for much longer after a meal. You aren't fighting the urge to snack, because the urge simply isn't there. Furthermore, curcumin acts directly on that body fat thermostat. It helps lower the inflammation that often keeps the thermostat set too high. So how do you use it? You don't need to eat a bowl of curry every day. Try adding a teaspoon of turmeric to roasted vegetables, soups, or even scrambling it into your eggs if you eat them later in the day. It's a small tweak, but over weeks and months, it sends a consistent signal to your body that it is safe to lower its weight set point. It's much safer than nicotine, which also lowers the set point but comes with terrible side effects, and it's much more natural than synthetic drugs. You are essentially using nature's pharmacy to correct a hormonal imbalance. We have the timing and we have the spice. Now we need the vehicle. This third step is often ignored by seniors because we think of it only for bathroom regularity, but it is actually a metabolic superweapon. I am talking about fiber, but not just any fiber. We want to focus on fiber from whole vegetables and legumes. When you eat processed foods like white bread or crackers, they dissolve instantly in your stomach. They shoot sugar straight into your blood, spike your insulin, and tell your thermostat to store fat. It happens in minutes. Fiber is different. It is bulky. It is physically hard for your body to move through the digestive system. Think of it like a heavy log on a fire versus a piece of paper. The paper burns in a second. The log burns for hours. Because fiber is bulky, it triggers stretch receptors in your stomach physically. These sensors send a message to the brain saying, "We are full down here." But the real magic happens when that fiber reaches your colon. This is where the double whammy effect kicks in. Your body cannot digest fiber on its own. It relies on the good bacteria in your gut to break it down. When your gut bacteria eat this fiber, they ferment it. This fermentation process produces something called short-chain fatty acids. These are chemical messengers. They travel from your gut to your brain and once again stimulate that fat-burning GLP-1 hormone. So by eating more beans, lentils, broccoli, or Brussels sprouts, you are hitting your weight loss from two angles. First, the physical bulk makes you full instantly. Second, the chemical reaction hours later keeps your metabolism burning high. Dr. Fung notes that this is the missing link for many people. You can skip breakfast, but if your lunch is just processed flour, you undo all the good work. You need the fiber to keep that insulin low and the GLP-1 high. Let's put this all together into a daily routine that resets your body fat thermostat. First, stop fighting your morning physiology. Let your cortisol do its job and wait until late morning or early afternoon to break your fast. Let your body burn its own fat for fuel. Second, when you do eat, spice up your meals with turmeric. Use it as a tool to naturally suppress your appetite and mimic the effects of weight loss medications without the side effects. And finally, ensure those meals are rich in fibrous vegetables. Give your gut bacteria the fuel they need to produce those fat-burning signals. Remember, if you are struggling with your weight, it is not a character flaw. It is a hormonal setting. Your body is trying to protect you, but it is using an outdated manual. By using these three tools, you are speaking to your body in a language it understands, the language of hormones. You are gently turning that thermostat down so the weight comes off and, more importantly, stays off. Thank you for watching. If you found this explanation helpful, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next video on restoring your energy levels. Here is to your health, and I'll see you in the next video.